Hello, everybody. We seem to be live today with a bit of reverb, but that's because I'm doing something different, and it's hard for me to get rid of the delay. I hope you don't mind. Anyhow, what I wanted to show. Okay, let me see if I give a last attempt to get rid of the decay. I wanted to show you how good currently the filter instrument sounds. Okay, let's see if I get up the mixer. I should have no delay. It's very strange. Okay. I think it's this one. Okay. That's better. Okay, back again. So, we are very busy here, of course, with the development still of Punch-2. And the target release date is now set to 19th of November. And so what I show you now is I was on stage. That was about 2 weeks ago. And you see here, sitting me, this is a picture. What I had is a modular system what I used for doing some additional sequencing. I had in front of me my main computer which did sequencing, which I just will play for you. Then I had a laptop which I use as a synthesizer. So I had a keyboard especially to, essentially the laptop went into the audio card from the main computer, and that one was essentially a sequencer and mixer at the same time. And I had, of course, additional the Jupiter 8 here, that is down here, for additional things, and a MiniMoog. And I wanted to show you is that essentially the MiniMoog and also the hardware like the Jupiter and the modular stuff, I took my on stage because it's nice to tweak live. But essentially, in terms of sound-wise, it was not that needed. But picture this is a festival for people who love synthesizers, electronic music, and the I also want something. So it was of course heavy on in the car to get the Jupiter 8 with case. It's 45 kilograms, but people enjoyed it. And what I wanted to show you is the how good currently software is. So I will play a little part of the you can see here is that how I work live. You see here this is a part that they call it an arranger, and here you see this is a song which I played. Here I see that I have to play this bell sound between means that I do some improvisation, and at the moment MiniMoog I need to play this MiniMoog style thing. So what I want to show you if here is B.I.T, which essentially I used by MIDI to play the original MIDI recording, which was a album on the CD these. And let's play it, and then I will play it on the MiniMoog, and then you will notice how good B.I.T, how good the virtual instruments sounds these days. Okay, so I here it starts to play. Hopefully you can. I first check the web thing if everybody can hear me, because I have to line up is a bit different. Because I had to rearrange a bit of the. So here's my MiniMoog. You can hear it clacking. It's a very clacky. Perfect. So I play this piece, but then first let's play it by the MiniMoog. So I'm gonna go to the right and play this song. I put on a little part which is the front of it, which is what I normally would play live, and then the solo kicks in. click the solo on, this bell solo, which I play also live. So I did this now with the MiniMoog. I did this also on stage, but now I will play the same with B.I.T and this with this lead sound from B.I.T. Of course, I need to put off the mute. Here goes the mute. And when I click here, you can see the notes I played. So, and of course, doing this live, I had to study my own solos. That's always fun. What did I play at that time? I mean, it's some time ago that I wrote this song. So then you have to study your own material. Isn't that funny? So I unmute it now, and now the same part is played by B.I.T. This was the same solo played by B.I.T. And let's play again in MiniMoog. So then you can hear that it's all getting very close, and that doesn't mean that it is not cool to have a MiniMoog. I mean, it's always cool. But for making music, it's very affordable to have the same feel, the same type of sound inside your computer, and that's amazing. So I play again on the MiniMoog. Okay, I need to time it better. Sorry, guys. So here comes this bell sound. Okay, so now I click on again on B.I.T. Yeah, you see, it's very close. Of course, it's not a one-to-one, but I mean, not everybody has the luck to have a MiniMoog originally, and secondhand they are pretty much high priced. And for making cool music, it's great to have. Of course, on stage I use it, and maybe for the guys who are a bit later on in here, I was on stage during E-Live, which is a nice, very small event with only pretty much traditional electronic music. We had a very nice young guy from 10 years old who played live. We had CJ, who comes a bit from the dance direction but also has his roots in electronic music. We have Ian Boddy, and the 3 other guys were there. It was a very nice day, and but I simply wanted to show you that, yeah, I mean, sometimes people complain, oh no, I don't like software, it should be hardware. It's nonsense. I mean, in the end, it's the music. And yeah, there was a picture of I was very shortly into space. Yeah, that's in the picture. So I show, here it is. I was very short in space. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold. So you see some pictures playing live. There I hit by accident a wrong key. I surrender for a false note. I was very concentrated. You see, there was Hans Bilo did some very nice background images, and as mentioned, this has a very nice vibe. So yeah, what I also used in this song is, I think it's in the backing. So let's see if I can. So either left is then the B.I.T, and right would be the. And what I use, the MiniMoog goes directly in my audio card, and I use, of course, RP delay and RP reverb on these instruments. So a bit of reverb and stereo delay. And inside B.I.T, this sound, which is called Attic Moogie, which is in these synth leads. And by the way, the other synthesizers are pretty close in doing this also very well. So Predator 2 or Bluetooth, it's also a matter of creating this sound, know how this sound originally is done. The advantage what I find while playing with the software is that you can use aftertouch and pitch bend. You see here we have the pitch LFO, and there's an amount control. So you see modulation wheel and aftertouch makes that the amount of vibrato goes bigger. So you see my keyboard. Oh no, you don't see that keyboard, of course. It's the MiniMoog, and here you need, in the MiniMoog, you need to use the modulation wheel. Okay. Oh, somebody talks. Yeah, everybody talks about Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We always join this, but not with insane discount. We have the philosophy to have a very fair price policy already. So sure, we will have a bit of discount, but we never do the insane thing which we sometimes see happening. Okay. Let's see what the Skype has to tell. Yeah, maybe good to know how I play live, because some people ask me, how did you do that? That you went from one song to another song, and that's done in Cubase. You have the arranger track, and I don't know if you can see it, guys. Maybe I move it more to the right. Here you can see my whole set on the left side. I can even make it bigger. So let's make it bigger. So this is what happens. I started with the start, and then you see this one is looping endlessly. And the moment when I had the idea, okay, this is cool, let's go to the other piece, I clicked very carefully, because if you hit the wrong one, you are wrong. And so here, for instance, it's one piece. And there's a modular synthesizer behind me, which is doing this sequence sound. So I turned the dials a bit. I don't think if you can see it. Yeah, you saw me standing there. It's that one. And so once I did some improvisations there, I went over to part 2, and then something else came in. You see that one? And then I need to know, okay, I need to pay attention. So this is a very nice system. And so here you have, for instance, where was I? Red intro. Yeah, freeze at ease intro. Here it also keeps on. So the cool thing about the modular synthesizer was I have two filters. One is using as a bandpass filter, and when I change the volume of the filter 2, which is a Moog ladder filter, I have a totally different sound. So this is the so I'm closing it now, and now the other one. So depending on if there is another bass sound, I use that as a things for tweaking in between. And so where was I? These are all the things. So here you can repeat endlessly. And if you would look here, not sure if it jumps to the right position. Yeah, you see at ease. Here it starts. So here is a part which keeps on hanging at ease intro. So then I had the time to tweak a bit, to do some improvisation, and then I moved on in finishing this whole song. So I click then again at ease, and you see here's another repeating thing. So then it keeps on playing. So now you see it jumps over. So now this sequence comes in. So there's of course a lot of sequence happening, and okay, now so that's the way I did this live. So there was about 1 hour inside of inside of my Cubase track, and this kind of things you also can do with Ableton. It seems with things. I think most sequencers have these features, and it's very handy, especially live. Okay. Oh yeah, Junkie XL. Yeah, he's a Dutch guy, Tom. He's already I had several times contact with him. He's from the early age already liked our products. Very nice guy, and he's doing great in the United States. We are very proud of him. I should see this this video, of course. Okay, let's see. So yeah, for the people who are later on, this I was showing this to show how good currently the virtual instruments are. I use this lead sound here. And the trick with this lead sound is essentially the tuning is very narrow, and it's just very small moving. So if I play, you hear a kind of drifting, and so there's no chorus, so it's just two oscillators drifting. And of course we have this analog drift here in this B.I.T, and this is originally in the MiniMoog, of course, also standard. Only with the MiniMoog it's sometimes a bit tricky to find the sweet spot. So if you have the second oscillator, so this movement, what is naturally in the components, yeah, you need to build in a virtual plugin, because digital can be straight as hell. Of course, it's very and you need to build in this drifting. So that's for people just to show that virtual analog is way powerful. And so it's not in the gear. If you have a good computer, you have a good software, you have a good speakers, good audio card is also very important, a very good audio card, then you can do amazing stuff. And of course, as mentioned, it's great to have a Jupiter, it's great to have a MiniMoog, and I have them already for ages because I'm an old chap. But for making music, you can also use virtual plugins. So maybe I show you. So I had this one for the lead sound, but let me see in the backing. You heard some choirs, and I believe I did these with Vecto. So I have here a backing folder. You see, there's a lot going on. So Pat, where is the choir? Drums. No, it seems to be not in this part. So I need to check this, guys, 1 second, because it's so much inside of this. Space Fleets, where are the choirs? Huh. I'm looking for it. This sound I also play live, but it's not the one I was looking for. And what I also did, I had on the right side the laptop, and I used very often Prisma because I could make split points. So, okay, let's go to the no, not really. I used the complete keyboard, but I did not use the Anker S setup. So the other keyboard I used was, I have also 49 keys complete control, but I played also a bit of piano, and I had a bit of trouble getting the final touch with the velocity. So I used the emulator E4 keyboard, which is 76 keys. That one I used on the laptop. But what I do is then, if I play a song, I play maybe 1 or 2 sounds on this keyboard, and then on the laptop 1 or 2 sounds, and then of course MiniMoog and Jupiter. So I don't try to do where the sequencing is to play too much different stuff, otherwise you easily run into doing an error, of course. I played this one, which I think maybe, which I still need to. It's originally a Predator 1.6 preset, and I need to. It's also in Predator 2, of course, but I had no time to set it over. This one I played in Space Float, which was a another track. Here we go. Which is, to my opinion, still not 100% finished. So, okay, where is it again? Space Float. So now I need to play it because here it comes. It's of course not a very complex theme. It's just 2 tones and the piano. Yeah, the Anker has some advantages, is of course with the controllers, but I had not enough time to arrange that in this short time. Of course, when I continue adding more sounds and more songs to it, then I also can sometimes put a bit more detail in arranging the sounds which I used. And then indeed sometimes it could be the complete control that you have the dials, although you can also use the dials. You don't see it now because the webcam is on the MiniMoog, but the dials from the keyboard I also can address directly. So let me see. So I'm messing up here. You see, you can easily get messed up, and lucky enough that did not happen during the live set. Okay, here a bit lead. So I can address here, for instance, for the filter, if you want to do this, you can say latch to MIDI. Okay, and then it moves. Okay, let's see if I can put that on screen for you guys. So I'll move away from. So I'll MIDI latch this one to the filter. So that's still possible to do these things by these controls. Of course, if you have the complete control, you have even more controls, but live, yeah, it's normally only particular things you might change, like the envelope or maybe a bit of the resonance. So, okay, let's play that one back to the MIDI machine. Haha, yeah, I wanted to show Punch-2. I just get a new version. The release date is planned now for the 19th of November. So let's go to Punch. Let's see if I can do this in this song so we don't have to boot up. I simply add track, instrument. Of course Yeah, what I do, I go out for a second and then I will be back in. Give me a second, guys. I will shut down the audio and then we'll be back. Okay, are we back again? I think I'm a bit louder now, isn't it? Okay, so I need to put down the volume a bit because I was a bit loud for me. Okay, that's better. So let's fire up Punch-2. Where is he? Because I have to show you a cool thing. Here it is. And we are very far now, so I can show you already a few cool stuff what we have. Oh, I'm not too loud, I think. So when I go here to the introduction bank, okay, I have already, for instance, the very famous drum loop, most used drum loop. I use that one and it's inside of it. I am going to go to the advanced panel. It's this loop. Okay, you see this loop, it's the Winston Amen. I have a few versions, version 1. and it chops are based on a tempo, and it shows that the drum loop is 137 beats per minute. So I go down to my host and set this also to 137 beats per minute, and then maybe I'm too loud. Okay, so what happens now is that you hear far more. But yeah, that's the case here. What we did is also we added a groove, the kick. Groove 2, let's see, doesn't play anything. It's only the bass drum what I added, I see. Yeah, so that you can combine stuff together. That's very nice. A high loop, let's see, what is this? And I'll show you this in a second, how this all works. Okay, high loop 145. So this one has an other, you see the tempo is 153.7, but 154 is also okay. So here is the tempo, and it slices this also in tempo 1/8 notes, and so it's the same loop but higher pitch. And now I combine it with some other stuff. So you see here the if you go to the main page, you see far more playing. You see the slice plays. Part 1. So this is the slide. You see I play it now. But pad 9 starts with a bass drum. There's a little snare, another snare, this one. So of course there's even more possible. So the first 9, and that's the first 8 are for the drum loop sliced. And then the other ones you can use the built-in sequencer of Punch-2 to do some other stuff. So here groove 1 does this a bass drum and also a snare. Another one, let's see if there's even more. Okay, no, I did not only, so essentially this is added. Well, here you see the audition, and audition you can select what plays at once. If you hit the audition, and you see it's groove 1, groove 2, and this loop play. So then you have this combined together. So another cool thing is that the you can make it even go wild. So this is the slice when I go here. And by the way, these slides are now, you see, 1 to 8. Here you can add it, and there's an option where we show what you can do. What if you right click or left click here on what happens. And of course now you have a drum loop. And this one is very known, of course, and you can add additional stuff to it. And the slice you can extract to MIDI, export to MIDI. So you don't have to need to trigger this built-in player. You also could export it to MIDI, and then through MIDI the groove is played back using these slices. So this is one thing I did. There's another thing I want to show you, which is, let me see if I have another one. I did another one, but I don't know where it is. Okay, let's do it from the start. So I pick here a preset, maybe default preset. I go to the main. Then here is the pad 1 is slice 1. If I click here, the loop goes into it. Of course, I need to see, okay, how I want to slice to tempo. Okay, let's see. Okay, I take this one. What I do now, right mouse click on this loop 04B, does audition it. But loads in also, and while it loads in, you see the tempo. The tempo again, I'm gonna adjust here down here because that should be the same in your music host, so that it's the same. So I'll even put it 116.7, which shows here. I can pick 8 slices from it. I think that's a nice setting. And the next step is then map these slices. So I'm gonna map these 8 slices to the pads, and I can pick from 17 to 20, whatever, and simply I do now from pad 1. Okay, so now I have from pad 1, and if I hit now loop play, it plays back using the pads. Okay, and see also moving in the upper section. Okay, and now comes a cool thing. Now we have for each slice. Okay, so I could go to this one and edit this one, which is slice number 3, and I can change this slice here in this. You see slide 3? I can change it. Make the snare shorter and give the snare, for instance, let's go to the FX. FX1, I take the reverb. Okay. And I give it a reverb. And then suddenly you have this slice with a reverb. Can you put each pad through another? No, that's not possible. No, it's. I think the export is just one MIDI channel. But of course, if you added the export, you can in the MIDI editor from most programs you can adjust it if you want to do this. So what you see now is that essentially the pad number 3, which is a snare, I changed by. So I also could say, okay, this one, pad number slice 6, is to reverse it. Let's see how that works out. Sounds a bit weird, but I can use, of course, okay, I'm looking now for a feature. It doesn't reverse it in the view. That's, of course, something we need to add still. Okay, that sounded not so good, so I can do it again, click again, and have it again, add it. Let's see if it's. Now it's totally. I need to remap it again. Sorry. Start again at 1. Okay, now it's again good. Yes, you can shift things. Then, of course, the combination, what I mentioned, together with the sequencer, when you go to the pattern page, so the audition, I can make that it also plays a loop, and then groove 1, I could pick then, let's say, pad number 9 with a bass drum. Of course, I need to. Okay, where did I select? Oh, it's groove 3. No, groove 1. Edit groove 1. Bass drum. It's a bit loud. Can make it a bit longer. And also with Oh, I'm working on the wrong one. Sorry, guys. I'm so used that the bass drum is on pad 1. But of course, this is from the slice. So here's the bass drum. Let's make it longer. A bit too loud. Each pad has still its own distortion. So you see, it starts here. This is the right one. So so you can add a bass drum to it, adjust it. Of course, this is the cool thing. This is all synthesis. Track 2 you could have then, let's see if that works. Track 2. Let's take, here you can select which type you want to have. I could say clap. And then we have folders with all kind of presets. So we could have model based and pick one of the. Okay, go back to pattern. Okay, that's the wrong one. It should be the bass drum, of course. 10. A bit too loud. So the clap is used here. It's on. Also here, this is synthesis. Oh yes, sorry. The Moog window. Yeah, that's a good point. Now we're not playing around with this nice beauty beast, so I put them so you cannot see the preset section here. So each pad you can have different types of sounds. So what I did now is use the clap for pad number 10. We have all kind of folders. So here you can see folders with classic analog, which have the 808, for instance. So we go here to the classic one, which is then 808. And here, if you have the sample, by the way, this is then the built-in samples, as you can do detuning, but also grain. You make it totally different, of course. Plastic one. Reverse. And you see it's also displayed. And of course you can change the offset. And then of course we have some samples on board, sample based. Okay, and many have now the bass drum. These are. So for the built-in samples you have a lot of features. You can grain it. Envelope. Do some weird stuff here. So this is the edit screen for stereo swapping, by the way. It starts left, goes to the right. So originally it was very different, the sound. So so many presets also on each pad. You have many presets. So if you don't want to go deep, you still stay here. So you see this pad 10, and you go up in the preset. There's down here, you can also edit. Here you can see this is a minimal version of essentially the advanced page. In the advanced page you have everything, and in the main screen, if you select the pad here, you still can go to a different preset or a different folder. So constructing a preset is very fast. Sure, you can load in your own. It's drag and drop. It's when I go back to the advanced panel, main, okay. Rex files it can load. Yes. Let's take another preset. The introduction bank is, of course, I go to loop here. That's basic for, okay. And then, let's see. Oh, that was the one we were working on. But if 120 stereo, this one is a Rex file. This one is a Rex file. So 120 beats per minute. And now it plays over, it has 10 slices in total. I say map slice, and then starts to play them from pad 1 up to 10. But this is a rec file. I was experimenting myself with brushes. And it's simply drag and drop. This is a folder on your system. It's in the raw Papen documents folder on your PC, Punch-2, and yeah, drag and drop, and you can do whatever you like. Sure, you will be able to load your own samples, drum loops or loops, whatever. So today I was a bit of experimenting with it, and I had also a guy who did some. So here you can preview the sample. Okay, this gives a tempo of 99. Excuse me, 99, and then I think it's open close. I think this one could be half bar even, so there could be essentially on 2 slice. Map slice, I could say map on 23, then it goes to this one. So this is a live hi-hat plate, and of course this one can be a band. I go to pattern, I go to groove 1, and if it's correctly, I also can do here some drag and drop. I'm not sure if that is now already working. Yeah, there you go, pad 11. Okay, I put it a bit higher. This one. No, I don't want to have that one. I want this one. And this is in groove 1. Okay, I need to play it, of course. I'll go to audition. That's nice to integrate a more real life thing together with, so I could then say here, this 12. Okay, but I don't want to have, I want there, I want, of course we have also built-in samples, a whole range of samples, and of course a whole range of presets made already with it. So dog. This is a snare. Let's see how that one sounds. And of course you can go to the main page. You see here's the sample, and then go to in this folder to a different. And if you say, okay, the bass drum, I want more real bass drum, then you go back to the bass drum and you pick another folder. Let's see, the verse, which is, I think, all kind of bass drums. And of course you can combine it with more grooves, more sounds. I mean, it's now just pretty simple, but essentially you see you're combining the slice from a simply this groove, so, and you have the tempo of it. You can combine it together with all kind of things together. So this is only the slice part, and there's much more in Punch-2. We have, of course, new sounds material. We have, if you go to the Jamal 02, we have some new presets recently received. Some great stuff. Here you can also order by date. So you can see. Some very cool stuff. Okay, manager again. I'll take another one. Now this one uses one of the new models, which is a string model. You can play it up here. So pad 1 is a string model. Maybe you know this from Sublime Bass 2, and this one is combined very nice by Jamal. So, and what we will do in the future, now you hear the audition. The audition, you see this menu, this is where you select what plays with your audition, but you also can play it manually. Gonna hit the keyboard again here. So let's see if I can put that into the screens for you guys. Okay. So this is you see the keyboard now again. Okay. This one plays groove 1, groove 2, can add it. So you see that what you hit the break 2 is this break 3. Say, and of course we have high quality effects on board, the top-notch reverb we always use. What we, by the way, in the first release of Punch-2, it's not inside of it, but what we are working on is that in a bit later stage we will have the case that you can play the grooves and breaks also in a sequenced way, which is a bit similar to a traditional drum computer, where you can say, okay, the first 5 bars, groove 1, or I do this on the second step, so that you can make also a kind of variation without having these keys to hit. So of course I can still. But of course you need to time that well. So some very cool new sounds are on board. Let me see if I can have a few more. There's also a built-in compressor limiter which you can use, EQ you can put on, even a high-pass filter. So it's very deep. So the 4 gains in EQ. I think so. I think these gains here, they are MIDI latchable, and you can also record them as a parameter. I could see if I can MIDI latch them. Let's see if that works. Latch to MIDI. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm doing it the right way. Latch to MIDI. Oh, what is that? It should work. Let's see if I can try this with another dial. Latch to MIDI. No, latch to MIDI currently doesn't work. Maybe it's me. And of course I need to check this tomorrow. But normally you could MIDI latch this and record this. But this also could be recorded as a parameter. Of course, then I need to show this by just recording something. Hit record. Okay, and then of course also here reading of course EQ needs to be on, otherwise you don't hear anything. High pass filter. Okay, let's see how that plays back. He needs write as only read. So let's see what happens here. Yes, it records, but I forgot to put it on. So now the EQ goes on, yeah. Then it records it. So you can record it as a parameter. And here you see the high pass filter also recorded. Frequency, not gain. Oh, sorry. Yeah, definitely. It's of course then you need to move from left to right. Gain we did here because this is more the for fast results. You know, if you go to the master page itself, you have this. Then you have far more control. And of course you also can do. Then let's see. That just record this. Again with record. Normally it all should be recorded. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, I play back again. I need to wait. Where it comes. You see, there it goes. So it's recordable. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is so what the concept is that the main page shows all the pads. You still can control the volume each pad, go to a different preset. If you are in a preset folder, click on edit. You see the auditions and the groove play you can start, but there's also down here, there is the for the master section. You still can put on the filter and the EQ. The EQ we set to a default setting so the gain makes sense in this way that if Jamal did not change it, you see you have a high shelf like a mixer, a mid frequency, a very low thing, which is the 55 hertz for the really more and then the low end. So it's a bit like the, but if you want to do something else, you can go here, change the EQ, change the frequency, the bandwidth. So this is the deep thing. And you can see here is also the mixer. So this is the master section. Okay. What is, of course, the easy page is still there. You see it's also used here. Do some weird stuff, really fun. And advanced page is essentially for each pad. And then we have a pattern where you arrange the grooves. Then we have a bank manager, and the bank manager has now for drum kit, which I'm selecting now. This definitely sounds like a road crew after many years of being on the road with a hard rock band. They totally demolished their ears. So, but we have the drum manager for the drum preset. So we have a kit, which is a complete drum kit. But also for each pad, we have, you see all the presets here. And there is a pattern manager where you can see all the pads. We have combined patterns, which are all patterns together. So, yeah, there's many things which are new, which are on board. This FX page, we have two modes. The classic mode is what we know from Punch-1, and the Punch-2 mode is more FX setup, like a mixer. So then you have, of course, a lot of controls here for each pad. So a lot of cool new features inside of it. So what we are doing now is doing the last bits of pieces, creating presets, and of course sometimes a little bug pops up, which we need to solve then. And so, yeah, keep an eye on the release. 19th of November, Punch-2 will be released together with a new FX, which is very cool. In case you like to upgrade to the Explorer 6, so Explorer 6 will have in the first release already two very cool products. Okay, so thank you for watching, guys. I hope to see you back next week. Then I maybe show you a bit more about Punch-2, maybe some more new presets, and then we take it from there. Thank you for watching, and as mentioned, you always can watch it back inside the playlist on YouTube, which is called Live Stream. And keep well. Thank you for watching.